Hello folks, welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Today we are starting with Biobot production facility touch-ups. We have finished our transport tube, so we have a transport tube right here and here. We are just waiting for our new dupe Quinn to level up so he can start using this Biobot builder. But in the meantime I discovered we found a new mutant species of these sleetweed grains, and I'm hoping that is a good one. So power wise, let me just quickly connect it to our main grid so we can ship that to our home planetoid. So that will get shipped to our main planetoid to get analyzed. In the meantime, what we are trying to do is we are trying to uncover some of these geysers. So we have one, I think, steam geyser, and another one is, what is this? This one is almost revealed. I just cannot see it. It might be a volcano. Huh. If it is a volcano, oh, there's another geyser right over there. So I'll just quickly climb up or maybe go down this way. I kind of want to have a tab and inventory of what we currently have and what we can do to support our dupes. Because looking at the food, it doesn't look very promising. We are expanding our population, but we are not yet ready to fully support all of these. So let's see what we get here. Come on, Ali. And it's a volcano. Okay, that's fine. We can just uncap this volcano and analyze it because we have our original Nicola here. And seed analysis complete. Let's see what we get. We got super specialized sleet wheat. Not ideal. A CO2 vent. Again, not ideal. But yeah, I can't complain. This is a free mutation. We didn't have to mutate it manually because it naturally got mutated due to proximity to this V-sword. It is so far away. But it is what it is. So let's see what we get out of this other vents. So one is volcano, another is carbon dioxide. Uncap this. Yeah, totally uncap this. We'll just leave it open. What temperature does it emit? It emits carbon dioxide at 500 degrees Celsius. That would be good, I think, because we want to melt all of this ice anyways. All of this ice is just in the way, and digging ice basically makes it lose 50% of the mass. So it's better for us to melt the ice rather than to actually, dig it out. Although we will lose on some of the natural biome where we are trying to grow sleet wheat, but I'm thinking once we get a specialized kind of a sleet wheat, we can start a natural pip farm back at home or here, doesn't really matter, with mutated grains. So that way we can support our colony with just a bunch of sleet wheat and or maybe some bristleberries. Yeah, bristle blossoms, we already got a lot of bristle blossom seeds mutated, so you can see here our seed duplicator is working flawlessly, and we have 27 exuberant seeds of bristle blossoms. Time for the final grand reveal, and this is a cool steam vent which is going to emit at 110 degrees Celsius. That is fine. We will uncap you as well, and we will uncap almost everything. So while Nicola is analyzing our geysers, in the meantime we can start working on some of the bits that I wanted to do. So first and foremost, we need to move this shipping all the way to our base. I know it's a long shipping rail, but it is totally worth it because I don't want my duplicants to be running around all the time. So I'll probably keep it somewhere maybe over here-ish, where we can just use auto sweeper to put all the stuff that is accumulated here into our main planetoid. We kind of want to avoid a lot of duplicant moving around and labor. I'll also make a branch around here so that we can feed all the dream journals directly to our somnium synthesizer. So give me a sec. So something like this should work. What we have is a shipping rail that is coming all the way from our main storage to here. This shipping rail will go first here, where all the dream journals will get filtered and dropped onto this insulated tile. I'm going to vacuum out this whole area because I don't want any gases here. Just it looks pretty neat. and then whatever is left over after this conveyor chute is going to get teleported to our main planetoid. We can basically seal this area of the map with insulation, and we don't really have to care about temperature, whatever temperature is going to be on this side. Now, cooling wise, what we have is a ventilation system where we are just pumping oxygen from our main planetoid to this somnium synthesizer, and this pipe is going to go through this tile, and I'm going to put a blob of naphtha on this tile on top of insulated rock so that it will cool this auto sweeper, and that is the only thing that needs cooling in this design. I'll seal up this area with just a blob of naphtha for now, and then we can permanently seal this area with like insulated tiles or something like that. Once we extracted enough of these pajamas, we kind of need 6 duplicants to be sleeping in full time just to run the somnium synthesizer non-stop for our colony. Perform, so I'll let them do that. But while that is happening, I'm thinking I should expand our bristle blossom farms from getting to original seeds to our exuberant seeds. Exuberant seeds require a lot of extra, I guess, fertilization, but their growth period is reduced by 75%. So currently, if you see bristle blossoms or growth period, domestic growth is 6 cycles, right? So it turns out that it would require around 1.5 cycles of growth. That is amazing in terms of how much production we can do. We don't have to have this big of a farm, so we can literally deprecate this farm, reuse it for something else, and just move all these bristle blossoms up. It does require a bit of radiation, so I am thinking, what if we moved our farm somewhere over this side? There is natural radiation coming in from top, so if I click on radiation, there's like 218 rats. That is more than enough for bristle blossoms or any irradiated plants to grow. So let me just clear out this area. This is a lot of gunk that we need to remove anyways. And this is squeaky clean. Now all we need to do is build a farm somewhere over here in the radiation zone and maybe try to harvest the snow. We constantly get snow asteroids here. So what I'm thinking is, what if I just made a top that is made out of solar panels, because solar panel doesn't absorb any radiation. Yeah, radiation is pretty bad here. I'm building it, but duplicants keep getting radiation vomiting. You can see here, Joshua is also getting a radiation vomiting. Consumable wise, I think I gave all of them. No, I did not. That is my bad. I thought I gave everybody rat pills who was working upstairs. So Nisbet is perfectly fine with the rat pills, but everybody else is not. So whoever is going up will get a rat pill. Eh. Our analysis is complete. So let's take a look at the guises we have. So right now we have a cool stream vent that is emitting 1.2 kilograms per second on an average, and we do need to run our somnium synthesizer, and I am planning to run it non-stop. But to do that, we need around 500 grams of oxygen per second to run it. That means half a pipe of oxygen is just going to get consumed by somnium synthesizer, and if I'm running 7 dupes here, that means I would need another 700 grams of oxygen. So that is more than a one pipe of oxygen that I can import from our teleport supplier. So I think I do need to actually start building it. Okay, so what I was saying is, ignore this, we will fix this later on. But we need to build a oxygen, I guess, soggy swarm here as well to provide 1.5 or something like that oxygen, pipes of oxygen. So I think I'm going to build a tiny one that is going to directly use the cool stream vent right here, and it would be cooled by itself. So kind of like a self-cooled system. So for that, what we need is we need to gather all this steam into a chamber where we can gradually process it. So to process around how much is it, 1.2 kgs per second. Yeah, 1.2. 1.2 can be processed by a single steam turbine, so we don't even need to do a lot. All we need is a single steam turbine that can run non-stop almost to process the steam. So I guess let me try to build that setup. While we are doing this, I got a new duplicant, and I like this duplicant. This is Rowan, and Rowan is suit wearing and decorating. Although the suit wearing is not that interesting to us, but he is a radiation eater. So we can probably get Rowan, who is a radiation eater, caregiver, and decrease germ resistance. We don't care about germ resistance that much. So I think I am going to take Rowan and try to make Rowan a super pawn. So the reason I want to have Rowan is I want to eventually have a kind of like a space station where we can station one pawn there forever, and that pawn's job is just gonna be to run the space station itself. We have enough calories to spare. I just need to create or extend my gym. I'm hiring more duplicates than our current gym can handle. Done. We expanded our gym just by moving it one tile down. I also moved a little bit here just to squeeze this one tile down so that I can just put a transit tube right here. The problem with transit tube is you need two tiles to turn, so I cannot turn instantly like that. I need to go up and then turn, and this is the problem with transit tubes generally. So that is why I wanted to do that. Now I can just connect it this way. So this is what I mean by having a one tile vacuum gap where one side is sealed by a conveyor crossing and second side is sealed by one blob of naphtha as usual. And now this thing should be totally temperature proof. If we can look at temperature here, right now it's pretty equalized because right now we are pumping really hot air, and outside as well it's 44. But technically it is a one tile vacuum. If I click on material, you can see there's a vacuum here and a vacuum here. So that works perfectly fine. So this transit tube should help dupes directly get to their destinations. Right now I've connected only one, two, and third one I'm going to connect up over here because it's taking them a lot of time to build this. So I think I need a transit tube here. It took us a little bit of time to get everything ready and started, around 20 cycles, but I think we have a decent enough design. So what we have here is a twofold farm. First of all, you can see it has direct access to radiation, and radiation is not being blocked by solar panels at all. So radiation at top is 218, and after the solar panel is also around 166. I added a little bit of background, especially drywall, to collect all the water. So drywall is going to block 24% of radiation, but that's fine. That's a secondary thing, we can discuss this later. But for now, what you see here is a twofold farm. On the left hand side, I am planning to growing sleet wheat. Now, interestingly enough, we got the exuberant variation of sleet wheat as well. So I am definitely planning to grow this one right here. And plumbing wise, you can see we are using the same cooling design where a coolant is coming at -5-ish degrees Celsius. On the left hand side, we are going to cool the sleet wheat farm first, and after whatever is left over of the coolant from sleet wheat farm, we are going to pass it on to our bristle blossoms farm. For bristle blossoms as well, I am going to plant the exuberant version of it. Where is this one? Right here. So the exuberant version does not require sunlight or any kind of light, and it also produces rot pile. So that is great for us because we are running short on dirt, and rot pile can be converted into dirt automatically or through composting. So that would be great for us, and we can get rid of our original sleet wheat farm or sleet wheat as well as bristle blossom farm. All we need to do is we just need to put some gas in here. Let's see. So it needs low radiation levels and atmosphere is needed. So what is the radiation level it needs? So it needs a radiation level of 250 rads. We do not have 250 rads here. We have around 218 rads. So we need just a scooch more of radiation. Yep, just adding a single V's watt, we can get the radiation levels up to 267 on one side and 406 on the other side, which is pretty good. Right now what we are doing is just putting in two for natural tiles made out of dirt using fertilizer. So I kept fertilizer on top of steel tile and I'm just running hot glass underneath it. So hopefully it should pop pretty soon. Now you can see there are two crit drop-offs here as well. I am actually planning on making it a super farm by putting in one of those creatures, the Sweetle as well as grubs. This way we can actually tend to these plants and make them grow even faster. I'll show you once we get started on grub how the effect will multiply over time. So give me a second. Nice. Done. We have planted both of the V-swords in natural tiles, so we don't have to worry about fertilization. I'm just sweeping this place up so that we can start pumping some oxygen in it. Breathable gas, oxygen. Plumbing wise, we have already connected water here, so this water should be nice and warm, 52 degrees Celsius. I'm just putting in some temperature shift plates, alternating tiles, just so that we have a decent coverage in terms of temperature stabilization. As you can see, bristle blossom is growing perfectly. And this is what we like to see. Temperature is good, pressure is good, atmosphere, illumination, darkness, total darkness, radiation is good, and its growth cycle is 1.5. That is amazing. It consumes 30 kgs of water per cycle, that's fine. We have enough water that we can provide them. But yeah, this farm is going to replace the whole big farm that we have over here. I'm in fact really going to get everything out. There's no need to run this farm anymore. I'm just going to run one bristle blossom that is going to get mutated, and then we can start mutating other plants using the same exact setup. I'm just going to put in a lot of these wards and try to mutate all the other plants that we need. Now Otto is totally occupied. Otto literally has no time to do anything else. And here it is. Grub has rubbed this plant, which makes it grow 50% faster. So already we are at 25% growth requirement, or 25% growth cycle, and now it is boosted up even faster. So right now this is 4.5 cycles. Now this one has a Sweetle tending which gives growth speed of plus 5%. It's not really that good, but it's okay. But when you combine Sweetle plus grub, you get additional 55% speed. Now I feel secure in terms of production of food. But still, you can never be super sure. You can always do more in this game. So right now what I'm trying to do is converting all of these balm lilies into the mutated version. I'm trying to get a Lycee balm lily here. So for that I need to heat this area up. Right now you can see these things are chilling the area, and soon it will fall below the balm lily's temperature, which is not ideal. Meanwhile on Fliponi, I'm trying to tame this cool steam vent, and I will explain this design later on, but idea here is a bead pump would push all the steam up, where one side of steam turbine is going to suck up the cold steam and other side will have hot steam. Just one tile. I'm just pumping out everything. I'm just vacuuming out this area. But in the meantime, I opened up this volcano, and this volcano is going to be active in 5.6 cycles. So we have like a very tiny time to tame this volcano. And what I'm thinking is I would just go with the regular taming strategy of plumbed magma. That's literally the best thing I think in terms of magma production, because we can just import that plum magma to our base planetoid, where our petroleum boiler is still not at 100%. Our petroleum boiler is running at around, I believe, 6 kilograms per uh, tick. I can up it to up to 7, but yeah, we don't have enough heat to run it up to 10. I changed the automation here. So instead of having a fixed valve, now we have an automation which says that if the magma that is coming out of boiler is above 500 degrees Celsius, and we have finished the limit, then reset this liquid meter valve. This way we don't over feed oil to this petroleum boiler accidentally. I have done that a couple of times. I'm not showing it on screen, but yeah, I have to go in a couple of times to increase the temperature, because there was just crude oil sitting here, which is not ideal. So what we can do is we can just plumb that magma to our base planetoid. So I think that is what I would do. But just reduce the priority of this and just start taming this volcano. The same exact fashion. I don't think I need to do anything fancy. Just a steel door to control the magma, and that is pretty much gonna be it. We started pumping when we had 4 cycles remaining, and right now we are at 3.5 cycles with a pressure of 6.1 grams. I think we are going to make it. That was a pretty close call, I think. Leaving magma open in the map is certainly not a good idea, but once you have it tamed, you can just pump it up anywhere you want as a heat source. I'm just going to put 30 kgs of naphtha on this tile. So I just bottled in 30 kgs of naphtha. I'm just going to teleport that naphtha to the other planetoid. So I'll just seal it up and show you folks the end result at the end. And here it is. So now the magma tamer is done. Let's try to tame this cool stream vent. So idea behind this is we are going to pump some kind of liquid, maybe petroleum or crude oil over here, which is going to go through this liquid valve. This liquid valve is set to 10 grams per second, so that means that it is going to very slowly drip down. I'm going to probably move this liquid valve one tile up just so that we have a slight bit of a buffer. But ultimately, the idea behind this is more like a tiny bead pump that we use everywhere to push gases up. In this case, we are trying to push all the steam up in this chamber. Now in this chamber you can see there's a steam turbine which sits in between cross section of these two. So on the right hand side you can see there are 3 open ports, and it should allow us to suck in steam from here as well as here. Now the idea behind this is steam turbine can work as long as one of the ports here is exposed to more than 125 degrees Celsius temperature steam. So all we need to do is make sure that this side of the steam turbine is hotter than this side. And as long as we can maintain that, we can just run this steam turbine non-stop and suck all the steam out of here. And to do that, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to, first of all, let me reset this. I'm just going to put some oxygen generation over here, especially a soggy spawn, because as we established before, we have around how much 1.2 kilograms of water coming in, and a steam turbine can suck up to 2 kilograms of water. So with 3 of these ports, 2 out of 5, so doing a quick math is 400 grams of water per node or per vent. So 3 vents should be able to suck around 12 kilograms of water. That is decent. We are not going to suck all the 67 grams, but that's fine. So from that 1200 gram, I'm just going to run a non-stop Rodriguez or maybe a soggy spawn here. What is overheating? Conveyor loader. Why are you overheating? Because I'm putting in hot stuff. Disable auto repair. Disable auto repair. Yeah, I'm just putting in some steel. I'm just pushing some steel on the other planetoid, so that's why this is getting overheated. Okay. Sorry, where was I? Yep. So let's just put a quick soggy spawn design right over here. That is going to convert this whole 1.2 kilograms of water into oxygen. I'm also cleaning up this area so that we can put in some liquid reservoirs. So we have just added a buffer tank to our magma reservoir, and we have started pumping a little bit of petroleum here. So I just put in 200 kgs of petroleum, one bottle empty here, and it has started the beat pump. Right now there is water here, but this water will evaporate as soon as this geyser starts pumping. And the geyser should output on this tile. So this, even though this looks like this is accessible to geyser, this is not. So all the steam should get pushed up over this way. So this is a mini contraption that we built on top of our cool steam vent. So this can consume 2 kilograms of water per second, but we can only produce 1.2 kilograms of water because that's the max this vent is going to produce. So it is going to run at 1.2 capacity, but that's fine. We had to put in 2 of these electrolyzers for that. So now you can see this setup is pretty similar to a soggy spawn that we built previously. Just we have a hydrogen generator up top, we have a smart battery, 2 of these electrolyzers, and 3 gas pumps. All in all, this will produce 888 multiplied by 1.2, that is around 1 kilogram of oxygen per second. So this vent is going to produce 1 kilogram of oxygen per second for us self-powered. So that's why we had 2 gas pumps that is going to pump oxygen for us, and 1 gas pump that is going to pump hydrogen to our hydrogen generator made out of steam. We just pumped in a little bit of water here, and our goal is to keep this area above 125 degrees Celsius. So that is why I kept this thermosensor to 135 degrees Celsius. As long as we keep this area heated, this should allow this steam turbine to work and to basically generate output or power, right? And to do that, what we can do is we can just connect our pipe magma directly. So right now I have a magma here that is connected. It should start working if I set it to, let's say, I want 1 kilogram of magma per second, right? So I can say automation wise, connect the set and reset ports of this automation. That way we can provide 1 kilogram of magma. This is just a fail safe. This is just to make sure that if I don't mess up anything like that, right? And once I've put in enough magma, this should start boiling this water. Second thing that you'll notice is I have also connected it to our output port of supply teleporter. This way we can export all the magma to our base planetoid. This is right now in vacuum. I would create a whole vacuum tunnel to this area so we don't lose any heat. But that is secondary. First and foremost, we need to heat up this thing. So give it a little bit time. While we are waiting for this cool steam vent to come back to life, we need to take a look at Hansen, our base planetoid. And I noticed that there is a lot of CO2 rising up here. And I noticed that we don't have enough water to run this soggy spawn non-stop, because this would require 1, 2, 3, 4 kgs of water per second. And our cool steam vent is providing us with around, how much? 1.6. Yeah, so this is certainly not enough. And right now we are trying to provide oxygen to our atmosphere docks, to the other planetoid as well, using this pump. So we need a lot of water here. So what I did is I replumbed the water that is coming out from our petroleum boiler to go here. And also, I think I'm going to make this planetoid self-sufficient. What it means is I need to make this spawn generate whole 2 kilograms of oxygen per second. That should allow us to support around 20 dupes. Right now we are having 7 plus 500, so 7 plus 5, this is equivalent to 5 dupes consuming oxygen non-stop. So for that, I think I'm just going to throw in one more gas pump here that is going to feed dedicatedly to the somnium synthesizer, and another 2 gas pumps are going to feed the main base. And we have plenty of water here, so I'm just replumbing this water to go through a water sieve. We have also created a small cheeky tunnel that is full of vacuum which is pumping the magma from this volcano all the way to our main planetoid using our supply teleporter. And I also plumbed in on the main planetoid the supply teleporter. Here it is. Yep, it is connected to our magma supply using a vacuum tunnel. I ran out of obsidian, so that's why I had to use regular pipes, but that's fine. Because this is sitting in vacuum, this should not create any problems for us. And now we have a whole magma supply that is coming out to be around 900 grams of magma instead of 400 grams per second, which is really good because now I can crank up the total oil production. So right now I have set it to 8. Let me crank it up to 9.5. That is almost gonna be the maximum, or I can almost set it to 10 as well. So you can see this is currently 600 degrees Celsius and this is 517. So magma is coming in at around 1500 and going out at around 500. So that's good. So now that we are refining around 9 kgs of magma, we can run 5 of these petroleum generators. So now we have 3750 grams of polluted water coming in. That is less than 5 kg, so one water sieve should be able to handle. And this water is getting fed to our crops first of all, and then whatever is left over is going to feed to our oxygen production. And I have started running this oxygen production non-stop because I realized there's no point buffering this water. If we can just convert that water into oxygen, it saves us a lot of storage space. We don't really need water storage as long as we can convert that water into oxygen, and we can consume 4 kilograms of water per second using 4 of these, and this is generating at most 4.5 kilograms. So we only need to buffer like 500 grams of water per second when this vent is active. So I just redid some piping where I'm first prioritizing the cooling of this vent. So the first output goes to the cooling, the second output goes to oxygen production, and everything else is just bridged on. So everything else is just gonna top up this oxygen production. I'm going to keep a big buffer of oxygen here because I don't want to ever run out of oxygen. We also did a tiny modification in our design. It was turning out that it was deleting heat for some reason. I do not know why. Generally, these batteries are supposed to generate additional heat as well as the hydrogen generator, but I was losing the heat and water was condensing, steam was condensing into water. So this design would not have worked in that case. And looking at time, I am running way over budget and way too late to get this episode out. So we will tackle this in the next episode. I hope you folks enjoyed the super duper massive farm that we built this episode. Hope to see you folks next time.